Hello and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Friday the 3rd of October. This video is for educational purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever. And today we'll have a look at Tesla again. I didn't expect this outcome, but what we could see yesterday that Tesla opened higher, it gapped higher from the get-go, but as you can see, that was also the opening was also very close to the high of the day, only a few pips higher during the day, and then sellers just took control and sold out through the session, as you can see here, forming what we call a bear engulfing or a bearish engulfing, where market opened higher than the previous day's close and closed lower than the previous day's open. That is a sign of top and reversal pattern. That was not to be anticipated when we were talking yesterday after the Wednesday trading session, but that actually what's played out. There was divergence building up, so we had a little bit of warning it could happen, but the trend seemed strong at this time, but now it could be over before we think of it, at least with correction. What will be key to watch today is where will it close on the weekly and of course, later today. If it closes below the opening of last week, which means at 431, then you will also have a bearish engulfing on the weekly. So let's see about that. That's only $5 lower than the close yesterday. So that'll be interesting to watch. To cancel this bearish engulfing and push higher, it needs to close above the peak from yesterday, which is at 470.75. But for now, it is in play, and we could have a correction that could take it down a little bit, possibly to around this area here, this gap area here, and we are counting the bodies only. So 410 maybe, maybe dipping a little bit below. So that'll be a key to watch the next few days. Another one to watch, there's been so much to talk. I had Novo Nordisk the other day. Now I have Eli Lilly again. I warned about it, that it also bounced a little bit. Not yesterday, but the day before, it had a massive move along with a lot of other pharma companies, but you see Eli Lilly, massive move there. So now it's trading back to these peaks here. We are in bullish territory, positive sentiment. It's been depressed for quite some time. I don't know if it can drag Novo with it, but Novo is still in a bullish trend, as we talked about. If we can on the weekly also get Eli Lilly back above the cloud here, and if we can get RSI back above 60 threshold, well, then it will look bullish also on medium term. But a little bit of correction here, a little bit of setback you can see yesterday, and we could see that play out a little bit here, a little bit of profit taking, but it is in a bullish trend on the daily. Let's move on to the indices as usual. We had Nasdaq that closed higher again yesterday. Didn't move much really, despite the fact of Tesla selling, but instead, of course, a little bit. But we are still in this rising channel-like pattern here that if it's broken to the downside, well, then we could face a correction, but there are some strong supports here around 23,969 and 23,698, and then we also have the 55 moving average coming up. That's giving some support. You can see how it's giving some support previously. However, pre-market market is pushing higher here, so it seems like there's still some strength in the market, not that big of a surprise. S&P 500 almost unchanged yesterday after opening higher, but still in this bullish trend here. However, we do have divergence, as you can see, lower levels on RSI markets. So we should have a correction eventually, and we could get it when we get results from the third quarter earnings that should start pouring in, I think, next week maybe, or then the following weeks throughout October. Dow Jones closed a little bit higher, still bullish trend. Can it get above this peak there and cancel its top reversal, then there's also more in it. And you can see here RSI is testing its falling trend line. If it can close back above, well, it could be a sign of further higher levels on also Dow Jones. Here pre-market we see an S&P 500. It's pushing up about 0.25% at the moment. Asian system was a mixed bag. Seng, I don't know, maybe profit taking or what it was, but it got knocked down a little bit. Closed just above 27,000 after dipping below. We're still in a bullish trend. However, there is divergence here, so it's a little bit weak, but it is a bullish trend. Could see a little bit of a setback, and then I think we'll see it pushing higher. On Nikkei, on the other hand, new high and could push higher. We can guesstimate how much it could move, but if you are in Nikkei, invested in Nikkei, well, it doesn't really matter. Just follow the trend, and it's pushing higher here, and it could push to. It's eyeing 47,000 now. It's debatable we'll reach it, but it's not unlikely. European markets yesterday also quite strong. EuroStoxx 50 here pushing really higher, spiked a little bit higher. Positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating likely higher levels on EuroStoxx. You can see it here, so there it should be more in store for EuroStoxx 50, and we can also see RSI back above 60 threshold on the weekly, indicating likely higher levels. Ticking a little bit higher here pre-market, but yeah, it's fairly strong. DAX, on the other hand, yeah, it's lacking, but after the move on the 1st of October, that when it closed above this resistance there, we declared now it's back in a bullish trend, confirmed by RSI above 60 threshold, testing resistance there, trying to 4,445. I think we could push higher here pre-market. It is more or less unchanged, but I think we could challenge this previous all-time high there, 24. Sorry, that's not the all-time high. The all-time high is 24,639. Oh, that's the one there. Yeah, sorry. I was a little bit confused there. Yeah, that's the. We could see that being challenged fairly soon. Moving on to the FX market and euro dollar, quite volatile intraday yesterday, but didn't really get anywhere. Bounced off the 55 moving average. I still believe we'll see it crawling towards the 118.20, but it could be a little bit of a struggle. However, if it takes out the low there from the 25th of September at 116.45, there could be further downside pressure to the 116 area, but I think it will slowly crawl higher, but it just hasn't materialized yet. Sterling dollar, or cable was called, 135.40. It needs to get back up there to confirm bullish trend has resumed. If it takes out 133 and a quarter down there, bearish trend has been established. Euro sterling bouncing from the 38.2 retracement. If it crawls up here, it could challenge this 87.70. If it takes it out, well, then there's potential much higher. I favor that, as you can see, higher high, higher low, higher high. So you can see here how it's moving in an uptrend. So it has this bullish trend going on there for now. If it takes out the lows there from the 1st of October, well, then we're looking at 86.60 and to test the lower rising trend line. Dollar yen, couple of days spiked below the trend line, spiked below the cloud, very close to the 786 retracement and the 100 moving average, and now it's bouncing. We could see it bouncing further. Positive sentiment still on the RSI. It could try to get back above the cloud, but as you can see here, 200 moving average tracking on it. So we're boxed in here between the 100 and the 200. I think we could bounce a little bit, but I will remove this one there. If it takes out the lows here and 146.45, then we could be looking at 145.75 and a half in this area. Euro yen seems to be bouncing at the 50% and the 55 moving average of this uptrend there. RSI bouncing off 40 threshold, so I think we will see it crawling higher here in the coming days, and it could be the euro that is moving. That could spill into the euro dollar also. So if it can form this, unless it takes out the lows here from yesterday, then we have a bottom and reversal pattern, and we could start crawling higher. And if that plays out and you're trading euro yen, well, then you can, and this is an example. This is not a recommendation, it's just an example what one could do. Buy now with a stop at 172.25, and then play that it could move to 174, possibly higher here in the towards the weekend and going into next week. Again, that was not a recommendation to do so. Aussie yen dipped to the 38.2 retracement and then bounced, and is that it? We had a little bit of a correction there and then up, possibly still positive sentiment on the R side. There's actually no divergence indicating likely higher levels. And excuse me, if RSI moves back above 60 threshold, then we are back in confirming the positive sentiment. Drawing a trend line here, you can see if it starts breaking above the or closes above the falling trend line, it is a good chance that it will push higher also above the 60 threshold. Sterling yen bounced off 197.85 and 100 moving average. RSI actually closed below the 60 threshold there, I believe. 40 threshold. But we are back above the cloud as we speak. Let's see whether, if it takes out the lows from yesterday, then I think we'll see selling pressure will be accelerated lower. So a little bit of a crossroad here at the moment that should be observed. Could it bounce or will it continue lower? Aussie dollar 66.30. I will adjust this. So as we said, I always add a little bit. We need to put in a little bit of tolerance there. So 66.30, above that, then I think we'll see it pushing higher and uptrend resuming. Positive sentiment on the R side, no divergence. If R side closes back above 60 threshold, that is the likely scenario. But we could be caught range bound a little bit here around 66 for a while. You see it being rejected here at 66.30 a couple of times. So that's a significant resistance. The dollar Canada, and it pushed higher, didn't get all the way up to 140. It can still do it, still positive sentiment, still bullish trend, but as you see, the 200 moving average weighing on it there, trying to push it lower, and that could be the scenario to play out. And I will, what I will do, I will say, if it moves back below this 138.95, then the uptrend has been cancelled. But for now, we are in a bullish trend. 55 moving average pushing higher, and RSI telling us we could push a little bit higher there. Sterling Canada 188.45, key resistance. If it takes that out, well, then we're looking at 190. Swiss franc really not doing much, still here below the cloud. Struggling to push higher. A lot of volatility in today, but it doesn't really get anywhere, and that's the key. It should be able to crawl up to 94 again, but at the moment it doesn't seem like it will do it. So when you least wait it, possibly. The dollar Swiss testing again the falling trend line, the 50% retracement. It needs to take out 79 to the downside to reestablish the bearish trend. If it takes out the 80.15 level, well, then we could be looking at 80.40. Dollar index, well, almost the same picture, isn't it? Rejected here at the 55 yesterday. Support 96.84. RSI still negative. I think it will crawl lower, but it is not confirmed yet, and that's what I want. I want confirmation. Gold, well, this is stalling a little bit maybe. It's been looking like that for quite some time, and if we're looking at the weekly, we'll see what it's done. Almost to 3,900. Let's have a look. Almost 3,897 and a bit. Spiked higher. There is potential higher, also medium term, but you can see it's stalling a little bit here now. I will not call it the top because there's so much psychology in it now, or still, but a move up here and a little bit of correction, maybe down to around just below 3,800 could be seen. But again, the trends seem to have been quite strong. We have some support here around 37.90. The RSI, don't think there's any divergence. It actually spiked higher there, yeah. So it could push higher in the coming week, but a minor correction could be seen also. The silver spot market also stalling a little bit, a lot of volatility. And here I will also put in a Fibonacci just to give me some levels that could be of interest. If we get a correction, almost dip to the 38.2 there, can still do it. But medium term, the trend is fairly strong. No divergence on the RSI, indicating likely higher levels on the medium term. Platinum is taking a breather. A lot of volatility here between 1630 and 1250.55. And that's basically the levels to break out of. I think it will do it to the upside, but we could actually see it sliding back a little bit more. We are in a bullish trend, and no divergence on a daily. There is on the weekly, as it is now. The week is not done, so we could still see some action. Copper currently above 495, closed the other day just above it. Yesterday just above it here, and trying to push higher. RSI is telling us we should push higher towards the 515 resistance up here. And the upper part of the cloud, you can see it's total flat there. So there will be some strong resistance. Let's zoom out so we can see better of it. The only thing weighing a little bit on it is 55 moving declining, but we are still in this bullish trend that could push it higher. On the energy market, there's been some action. WTI crude oil below 61.45 support, and very close to test the $60. And if it takes it out, it dipped below $60 here, way back a little bit. Then it could actually collapse all the way down to these levels here, around $55. I'm not saying it will do that, but negative sentiment is now we are in a bearish trend, and the bigger picture is also. Let's just adjust that, pointing to lower levels, but there will be some buying possibly around $60. We have the Brent crude oil also below its 65 support. There's potential down to around 62.5. European nat gas also lower. Oh, come on, there we are. Testing or trading around the 31 level here. Possibly and likely to slide lower. We are below 55, we're below the cloud. 100 moving average also pushing lower. So it doesn't look like it will establish a bullish trend anytime soon. But to reverse and demolish this bearish scenario here, 33.44 is the resistance. The US nat gas, there we are, spiked higher yesterday, almost up to the resistance and 200% of this projection there, but then it set back and below the 200, and I think we could slide back here lower the next few days. So I'll remove this one and then add another one and say, okay, could we have a 38.2 retracement down to the 100 moving average and around 327 here? That could be in the cards. We're still in positive sentiment, so after correction it could try to move higher again. Moving on to the treasury yields, and US 10-year treasury yields below 410 and sliding lower here, as we can see, and could be sliding lower here. We 61.8 is a 406. Will it revisit 4% down there? Yes, if it comes back, RSI moves back below 40 threshold, we could see a test of 4%. European yields, that we have them. We have the Euro 10-year, doesn't really do much, still holding on above the 61.8 retracement there at 269. If it takes it out, well, 266, and especially 263, that is key support. The UK, not really much, a lot of volatility in today, so not really much to report. So I'll just jump on to the Japanese 10-year. That is that tested the peak there yesterday, got rejected. So that'd be key. Can it take that out to 168 or not? If it can, well, then there's potential above 170. Little bit minor support here at 162. And of course, the lower rising trend line. Bitcoin pushing higher and approaching previous or all-time highs there, and could test it maybe over the weekend, going into next week. Positive sentiment, bullish trend seems to be pushing higher. Ethereum also pushed higher yesterday and testing the 786 retracement there this morning at 4,567. Reject a little bit if it takes it out, and if RSI moves back above the 60 threshold, well, then I think we'll see a new high on Ethereum. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and nice weekend. When you get to that, talk to you again Monday.